So the purpose of this exercise would be to help you shift whatever is there around, attracting your best possible soulmate. Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, whatever
Yes.
I want to call it, not, who knows.
Okay. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how deeply would you want to attract your ideal partner?
10 being very deeply?
Yes, yes, like I absolutely want to.
10.
Brilliant. Okay. And tell me, I will be asking you some strange question, right? What are the worst things, and I want you to answer me immediately, what are the worst things that could happen if you attract that person into your life? The worst things.
That my life would be taken over by that person, that I would lose my independence, and this is all, my shit that I have, that I do or I've done, but like my power, my independence as a very strong, independent woman, what does that look like in terms of a deep romantic soul partnership?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you meet that person, you may lose your independence, right? You may lose your freedom, and then what then may happen in the worst possible scenario?
I wouldn't be myself.
Exactly. And then what would happen if you got into a relationship and ended up not being yourself at all?
Well, I'd have to leave. I mean, I'd have to leave. Would I? I don't know. I haven't in the past.
Right. So you'll be then trapped in a place where you're not fully yourself, and that's a very sort of painful place to be, right?
Yeah, giving up my who I am, giving up my power, letting somebody treat me in ways that I don't want to be treated. But again,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so right, so in here I know that you probably wouldn't do it, but nevertheless, part of your brain is protecting you from doing this ever again, right? Okay, so tell me now, if you, obviously your other fear is that you will never find that person this life, right? And so if you never ever have that kind of relationship that you wish, what is the worst thing that may happen as a result of it? And I want you to even exaggerate a little bit.
See, this is what, it's very hard for me to answer, because I'm the type of person who, at the end of the day, I will make anything work.
That's right.
So
That's right.
if I don't end up with anybody, then I will probably live my life like I'm living it now.
That's right, which is pretty happy.
I wake up every day really happy, except for when I'm like, premenstrual. I'm a little bit grumpy, but then there's still this obviously big part of me that, when it comes down to it, really wants that.
Yes, okay. So it's interesting. So the fear, in your case, it's not so much that you'll never meet that person, but it's the fear that you will. And somehow you will lose part of yourself, and you have to give up your freedom, your sense of self, and it will be difficult for you to pull yourself out of it, right? That's the fear. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how big is that fear? Just tell me quickly what number comes up. Not
8.
8, exactly, right. So that's what I felt immediately, was 8. Okay, so now tell me, what would you prefer to be happening in your life instead of having that fear of losing your independence, losing who you are, and being trapped? What would you like to see happening?
Well, I'd like to bring into my life a relationship, and be able to be the person in that relationship who can maintain my independence, my sense of self, and be able to still love deeply and give of myself at the same time. And to have somebody, a partner, who wants and is able to do the same. I guess the reality is I don't know what that looks like.
Right. Okay, so I want you to imagine it for a moment. In fact, what I would like everybody to do, whoever is listening to this right now, is to send love to this situation and to this person. So visualize for her being an extremely happy relationship and beam that energy of love. Because you see, one of the reasons why I'm doing this, those webinars, is because I believe in the power of intention of a group. So I'm not just doing this to teach you necessarily only how I do that, but also to tap into the power of the whole group, which is immense. So I want you to now to send love to the person I'm working with right now, and visualize it for her and with her, so she can feel it. So if she never felt it, you maybe have felt it. So just beam that energy at her. So I want you to, for a moment, darling, to go into the future, and you see, your future self has experienced it already, right? There is no limitation of time and space. Your soul, your future self have experienced it. You go to the future and tell me, how does it look like? How does it feel? How do you think? How do you act in that new union?
It feels very big and expansive. It feels like it's hard to describe it. I feel it in other parts of my life, but this is sort of the one part I don't, where I kind of feel like I'm standing up straight and strong and really standing in my power, which is big, and it's taken me a long time to realize that, but it's the one place that I lose it.
So close your eyes right now. So don't talk about the past. Let's stay with the now. In this current moment, we're actually going to the future, and we're tasting the future self that is actually able to be in a relationship in a totally free, grounded, powerful way. What's different about your thinking? What's different about your feeling? What are you doing differently that enables you to feel great in this new union? What's different about you?
I am confident in my not my right, but that I am able to be loved in that way.
Right, so you're feeling totally lovable, right?
Completely, yeah, not questioning, not insecure about it, just completely solid in knowing that I am able to be loved in that way.
Right. So that you feel lovable, and you also know that the other person is able to love you that way, right? Okay, so that's different. And what are you doing differently there, which you're doing there but you're not doing today? What is the main thing that is different in your actions, in your behaviors?
I'm putting myself first.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking that, like you were saying earlier, of needing to give everything of myself to receive that love.
Right.
I'm making myself as important as the other person.
Okay. Yeah, so you're equally important. Thing. Exactly. So you put yourself first as much first as the other person, right? But your first comes first before the other person's first. If I explain it well. Because often, I talk about mothers, and when I say to the mothers, you put yourself first, they go, you must be mad. This is impossible. It's not in the mother's DNA to put themselves first. But first in terms of being as important as. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I have enough information now, so I'm going to play the game with you. Are you ready?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
So remember, this is a game. Each time you say something, you just let it go. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And everybody, you can imagine we have this incredible hoover above our heads, that everything that is being said is being just sucked in and turned into light. Okay, so we are just playing right now, but your job is to be playful, open, and open to miracles. Open to miracles, okay? Because if you were not ready for that shift, you wouldn't be even here today, right? You'd be somewhere else. Okay, so please repeat after me. I allow myself.
I allow myself.
To be always extremely powerful.
To be always extremely powerful.
And fully reliant on myself.
And fully reliant on myself.
And never need ever anybody.
Never need ever anybody.
And be pretty happy without a relationship.
And be pretty happy without a relationship.
And I'm looking forward to being alone for the rest of my life.
And I'm looking forward to being alone for the rest of my life.
And be very happy.
And be very happy.
Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. But I also allow myself to step into an amazing relationship.
But I also allow myself to step into an amazing relationship.
Better than I've ever imagined.
Better than I ever imagined.
And then slowly start losing myself.
And then slowly start losing myself.
And stand on my head.
And stand on my head.
For the other person to love me.
For the other person to love me.
Interesting that you're doing what you're doing, right? Where you have to stand on your head now.
I could do that.
Yeah. And push very hard to be loved.
And push very hard to be loved.
So I have got no more to give.
So I have no more to give.
And I lose myself.
And I lose myself.
And stay in the relationship just because I have to make everything work.
And stay in a relationship just because I have to make everything work.
And exhaust myself.
And exhaust myself.
And then quickly run away.
And then quickly run away.
And then be alone for the next 20 years again.
And be alone for the next 20 years again.
And I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. And everybody's just basically sending love to you right now. So you're receiving it. And say this, but I also allow myself to fully feel that I'm lovable.
But I also allow myself to fully feel that I'm lovable.
That I don't have to do anything to be loved.
That I don't have to do anything to be loved.
They can just be still.
Can just be still.
And dive into the delight of being together.
And dive into the delight of being together.
And relax and be held.
And relax and be held.
And put myself first.
And put myself first.
As closely to the first of the other person.
As closely to the first of the other person.
So we are both number one.
So we're both number one.
Deeply lovable and deeply important.
Deeply lovable and deeply important.
And I also allow myself to dive deeper into who I am in this relationship.
And I also allow myself to dive deeper into who I am in this relationship.
And understand more what freedom means.
And understand more what freedom means.
And I'm so much looking forward to letting go and being loved.
And I'm so much looking forward to letting go and being loved.
And expanding myself in a relationship.
And expanding myself in a relationship.
Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. But I also allow myself not to be 100% convinced that I deserve a relationship.
But I also allow myself not to be 100% convinced that I deserve a relationship.
And that it's not very safe.
And that it's not very safe.
And for me to stay in this belief for the rest of my life.
And for me to stay in this belief for the rest of my life.
And I'm so much looking forward to it.
And I'm so much looking forward to it.
And I even allow myself to be happy and single.
And I even allow myself to be happy and single.
Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. But I also allow myself to feel lovable most of the time.
And I also allow myself to feel lovable most of the time.
In every area of my life.
In every area of my life.
Including financially.
Including financially.
And romantically.
And romantically.
And attract amazing things into my life.
And attract amazing things into my life.
And amazing opportunities.
and amazing opportunities.
And teach others how to do the same.
And teach others how to do the same.
And I'm looking forward to expanding into my full self.
And I'm looking forward to expanding into my full self.
And feeling extremely confident in a relationship as well.
And feeling extremely confident in a relationship as well.
But also very soft.
But also very soft.
Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Okay. Okay, now take a deep breath in again and just put your hand on your chest. And I would like you to think about that fear again that you had in the beginning of losing your independence, losing yourself as a person, and how much does it feel out of 10 now?
Say 5.
Okay, so I want you to do something more. Close your eyes now, and everybody, if you could also close your eyes, and what I would like you to do is to send your blessings to this amazing person who is ready to be loved, but first of all by herself. So imagine that quietly in your mind you bless her and you say, I bless you with deep sense of lovableness, self-love, self-respect, tenderness, and the greatest self-love than you've ever experienced. And just see that love pouring into your cells. And just imagine that you're being held. Imagine that you're being held by everybody here, blessing you, sending love to you, and everybody seeing you now in an extremely happy relationship with yourself first, where you're deeply relaxed being you, and then deeply relaxed in a relationship with your future partner, where you're fully yourself, you are allowing the other person to be fully themselves, and because you meet together, you're both greater people as a result of it. And now, as you receive love, I want you to once again go into the future, be in the shoes of your future self, who is deeply loving herself, softly, gently, lovingly. And you are absolutely comfortable about being alone, but you're absolutely comfortable about being adored and encouraged to be fully yourself and being free, because you're choosing to be with a person who is free in themselves and expanded in themselves. So as you're receiving that love, send love to yourself in the future, send love to the person, feel their energy, feel their wisdom. And take a deep breath in and breathe out. And surrender all that fear and let it go. And just get a message from your future self and check what is it that you need to remember to just gently open up to love now. Just gently, what do you need to remember? So come back, open your eyes and tell us, what do you need to remember?
Just that I'm enough.
That's right. So if you could actually feel that feeling now and intensify it a bit. So imagine like you're putting the dial on it. I'm enough. So it's expanding not just in your body, but it's expanding beyond everybody, into everybody. So every person who is taking part in this webinar, it's feeling it, that they are enough. So you are the healer now. I want you to know that. So from that place of knowing that you are enough, check that fear again, and how much does it feel?
It's not there. I don't
Right.
think it's maybe a 1, maybe.
Wonderful, thank you. So this is it. So actually the essence of this, and it always goes right for almost everything is when we feel enough, then we have enough money, or it's easier to attract money, it's easier to attract relationship. And if we question it, then we create lots of chaos around this, right? Blockages, barriers, challenges, only for us to actually learn that we are enough all along. So well done. Thank you so much. So much.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's interesting.